In this animation, we'll take a look at the different data mapping wizards that are available in the Data Mapper module. Now, the Data Mapper wizards are basically just shortcuts to help get started when you just want to quickly create a data mapping configuration. Now, the data mapping wizards are only available for CSV and database tabular data files, as well as PDF VT, because PDF VT files contain metadata that can let us automatically set boundaries. We also have a generate counter wizard. We'll see that in the end in a couple of minutes. We'll start by using a CSV file, which, by the way, is exactly the same as using a database, except that in the case of a database, you have to connect to it, whereas a CSV, you just have to open the file. But in the end, it does exactly the same thing. The first step of the wizard, once you've opened the actual file, is to verify that the data file is the right one. It just gives you a preview of the raw data inside of the file. And then we set the different settings for the actual file we're opening. So we can change the encoding, we can change the separators and the delimiters. Of course, Planet Press Connect will normally detect that by default and set it up for you. When we click on Finish, we can see that all the settings have been determined, and there is a default step process where it extracts all of the fields inside of your file. Now, you can, of course, modify it. So if, for instance, you want to delete a field that's not in use, then you can do that. Now, this data mapping configuration is complete and functional. You could right now create a new template and use the data directly. That's all you need to do. The next data mapping wizard we'll take a look at is the PDF VT. When you open a PDF VT within the wizard, what it does is that it actually gives you the options to set the boundaries directly. So what you need to do is to select the record or the level at which you have a new source record. So here we have the root where there's kind of global variables and global information. And then we have the recipient level where we have a couple of fields for each of the source records. Now we also need to select what we want to extract. So let's just extract the information for the recipient. So what the PDF wizard will do is extract the fields that we've selected and set the boundaries automatically on metadata, as we can see in the boundaries setting. Of course, as with any PDF data file, you do have the ability to extract more information. So if you want to extract the address, for instance, that would still work as usual. The last wizard we'll see is the Generate Counters wizard. Now, Generate Counters is basically just a way to create a series of sequential numbers. So if, for instance, you need to create raffle tickets or anything that has an ID that changes for each of them, then you can set all the parameters here. So you say what is the starting number, how you want to increment it. So if it's 1, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. If it's 2, it's going to be 1, 3, 5, 7, etc., etc. You can also determine how you want that number to be padded. What I mean by this is that if you want to have, let's say, number 0001, then you just have the padding character to 0, and you change the width to, say, 5. Adding a prefix means that that will be added to the beginning of the string, and suffix will be added to the end. Now, it's important to note that you can't actually extract any more data or join this wizard to another data file. It's actually just the counter number that you will have, so the rest of your data would need to be static inside of the template itself. And that's all for the different wizards available in the Connect Data Mapper.